Welcome to the night section. Nicki Minaj and Cardi B are two of the most wildly successful female rappers of our time. But success sometimes comes with some burdens that could threaten your success no matter how big you become. Beefs are a common thing in the music scene, especially in hip-hop, whether they're instigated by social media or the people themselves. You can't always tell, but it just seems to get worse over time. The Nicki and Cardi beef is one that definitely stands out, since the two are among the most popular female hip-hop artists of all time. They both have strong fan bases and make music with lyrics which can easily get misconstrued as jabs towards one another. It's a passive-aggressive kind of beef where in the lyrics you can hear the shade being thrown, but when you hear them speak in interviews, it's denial after denial, and no one wants to claim that there is, or rather that there was, in fact, a feud. There have been several instances that both celebrities were asked if they were beefing, and both have vehemently denied being involved in any beef. But the fans and spectators have suspected otherwise. However, the real question anytime this feud comes up in conversation is how it all got started in the first place. Now, to understand the feud, we will have to take a long walk down memory lane to understand the relationship between the two and when exactly things started to turn sour. However, before we get into that, it's important for us to understand the root causes of the feud between the two successful rappers. And we'll do that by taking a brief look at their backgrounds to get some perspective of who they are. This information will become important when we start to look at why the feud even got started in the first place. Nicki Minaj. Now, Nicki Minaj's story is one of the many American dreams, immigrating to the States and becoming a success story. But while it looks all beautiful and flowery now, she didn't always have it easy. Nicki was born Onika Tanya Mirage in Trinidad and Tobago on December 8th, 1982. As a child, her family moved to the United States when she was only 5. Now, in the land where everything is possible, Nicki thought everything would be like a Disney movie, but she was dead wrong. They lived in a small house and had to face her addicted father, who is addicted to alcohol and white powder, who was also abusing her mother often and even ended up burning down her childhood home. With all of this going on, she still somehow knew what she wanted to do at an early age. She wrote her first rap song when she was 12 while pursuing the creative arts and acting in school. She eventually got into music when she became a backup singer for a local group in New York City called the Hood Stars. Her videos from performing with the group got the attention of a local record label, and fast forward led her to get the attention of the legendary Lil Wayne, who quickly identified Nicki's talent, and they both worked on mixtapes together like The Playtime Is Over in 2007, and the rest released later. Nicki had a growing amount of fame at this point in her career and got awarded at the Underground Music Awards as the Female Artist of the Year, and that was her beginning. A short synopsis of her story. And as we all know, she later got signed by Young Money Entertainment in 2009 and would release her first album, Pink Friday, in 2010. And the rest is pretty much history. Cardi B. As for Cardi B, compared to Nicki Minaj, Cardi is much younger. She was born in 1992 as Belcalis Almanzar in the Bronx borough of New York City. Cardi B had a tough childhood and has claimed that she was a gang member since the age of 16. The gang being the Bloods. However, she lived with her grandmother down in Washington Heights, which she has very heavily credited for her heavy Dominican accent. But she did attend the Renaissance High School for musical theater and technology. Like Nicki, it was clear she was up to something, but in some slight differences here. Cardi didn't do any writing or really exploit her talents early on. In Cardi's teen years, she was working at an Amish supermarket where she would eventually get fired, but her manager gave her a piece of advice, which was pretty unorthodox if you ask me, but advice nonetheless. That would change her life whether she knew it or not at the time. They recommended that she become a stripper, which she actually decided to take on. Fast forward to today, this is something that Cardi B wears as a badge of honor, as she believes it was a way for her to survive and escape poverty and domestic violence. As a bonus, she was also able to return to school during that time, but as fate would have it, she would eventually stop pursuing her college education. By 2013, she was becoming a viral sensation due to her funny videos online, particularly the video of her talking about who she is and what she does. In the video, she says she is a quote-unquote hoe, owning up to what she does for a living.
So, people be asking me, like, what do you does? Like, are you a model? Are you like a comedian or something? Nah, I ain't none of that. I'm a hoe. I'm a stripper hoe. I'm about to money. What's poppin'?
Her being a hoe is something she has never held back, not even now, and she doesn't seem to ever want to hide that part of her life. Her newfound fame afforded her new opportunities to get media features and more, like on the series of Love and Hip Hop, which gave her the courage to start taking music seriously. By 2016, Cardi was fully committed to the music business and released her own full-length mixtape project, which she called Gangster B. Fast forward to 2018, she releases her first album, Invasion of Privacy, which was an absolute smash, and she's been on a steady incline ever since. I did mention that their backgrounds will play into the feud and how it affected their reactions, so keep these facts in mind. Early relationship between Nicki and Cardi. Both artists are from different generation. Nicki's breakthrough as a mainstream artist was when she signed to Young Money Entertainment in 2009, while Cardi B had an unorthodox come up, starting from social media to reality TV, overall gaining popularity online and then releasing music, signing her first major label deal with Atlantic Records in 2017. Now, between 2009 and 2017 is a super long time when talking about the music industry, close to a decade. Before Cardi became a name, Nicki was long established as the queen, and that was it. No one else came near or even stood a chance. You could say she felt comfortable with where she was at. However, we all know no one can stay at the top forever, and we now had this Bronx girl coming up. Some say Nicki has the talent, while Cardi is the personality. And in this new era, thanks to social media, people were looking more so to be entertained by someone with a big personality rather than just someone having the technical ability of being able to rap. And I mean, fans love what they love, and the growth of one rapper means the queen could get dethroned. But up to this point, Cardi was no threat to Nicki, and they didn't have much of a relationship except for a few comments here and there. Much of it was Cardi's love for Nicki, something Cardi has always made clear even to date. That is the single thing you cannot take away from Cardi regarding this entire beef. She has always given Nicki that respect at the end of the day. Nicki versus Remy Ma. The issue that started the feud is really blurred, but it most likely started from the very beginning, in the days when Nicki was in a huge public beef with Remy Ma. If you guys recall, Remy Ma made the Sheether diss, and her justification for making the song was due to Nicki basically allegedly wishing her ill will behind her back, and apparently stopping her bag on many occasions since she's been out of prison. But fast forward to 2017, this was when Cardi was coming up and Nicki had already been dominating in the industry for 8+ years. Sources indicate that the beef was started probably because of Cardi's appearance in Remy Ma's performance in 2017 at the Hot 97's Summer Jam Festival. This was the time when Nicki's beef with Remy Ma was at its height, and being associated with Remy Ma was not the best of ideas for Cardi, who was just coming up, if her intention was to actually have a good relationship with Nicki. It probably gave Nicki a not so good view of who Cardi was, but the situation was cleared after Cardi went on the air on The Breakfast Club claiming that there was no beef between them. By September, Cardi's song Bodak Yellow made history as the #1 hit song on the Billboard Top 100 charts, as Cardi was the second female hip-hop artist to achieve this after Lauryn Hill's song Doo Wop in 1998, which by the way was after 19 years in 2017. And of course, Nicki took to Twitter immediately to congratulate her, and as some might say, these were all friendly times in September of 2017. But their apparent friendship was short-lived as things changed the following month in October 2017. Motorsport beef ensues. You could say the seeds for the feud were planted when Cardi was just stepping into the limelight in 2017 when she signed onto Atlantic Records. Her rap career was still young, even though she had already done well as a new rapper at the time. We can all agree when it comes to female rap, it is relatively easier to get on since Cardi made her breakthrough, a thing she believes paved the way for the now other women to succeed in the space. But that is a story for another time. The release of Migos' single Motorsport fueled the already lingering shade between the two. It featured the Migos and both Nicki and Cardi, but while it's supposed to be seen as a union between them, it turned out to be the cherry on top to the mounting tension between the two rappers. The public discourse intensified. Even though both artists knew they were being featured on the song, there were some unforeseen issues that gave the public more reason to believe that despite the fact that they were on the same song, they were at bay and fighting with one another. Once the music video was released, the first thing anyone with eyes would notice was that they never appeared in the same scene. Cardi B had her verse and was in a completely different scene and set, it appeared like. While with Nicki, it was the same thing. This could have been a great moment for the two to really put these rumors to rest, but them not even being in the same shot alone raised even more concerns about the two. But what really broke the camel's back was the lyrics in the music. Cardi made an interview appearance shortly after its release, and among her very first comments were the fact that the lyrics Nicki had in the final version were not the same lyrics she heard when Quavo played the song for her in the studio. Nicki later responded to this, and it clearly rubbed her the wrong way. She wanted Cardi to be more thankful for the feature and has recounted that when she made a song with a big female rapper, she was singing their praises, with that artist being Trina. Now we know Cardi was still piggybacking on the big leagues to get her name out there, an opportunity which I truly think she was grateful for. And I know there's been controversy on the actual Nicki verse and the adjustments that Nicki had to make from her original verse to the final version. According to Nicki, she was told by Atlantic to remove Cardi's name from her verse, etc., which in reality I don't think was such a big deal, but the public obviously chose to pin them as enemies anyways. However, despite the public's opinion on things, the two got back to being friendly with each other, and they described the situation as a little misunderstanding when they met at the Met Gala in May of 2018. Whether these were genuine reconciliation remarks, their next moves said it all. Harper's Bazaar incident. The release of Motorsport made matters even more solid, and with each passing day it felt more like beef than anything else. But it was all tense conversation, tweets, and social media outbursts. Not very direct stuff if you ask me, but things got really out of hand when what started to be a friendly feud got brutal. In September of 2018, the two got into a huge altercation at the Harper's Bazaar party during the New York Fashion Week. There are videos of the fight, but different reports and interpretations of what actually went down. But all we know is that Cardi got into a fight with Nicki because of Nicki allegedly liking a tweet insinuating that Cardi is a bad mom. This led to an outburst where Cardi takes off her shoe and hurls it at Nicki, but misses. In the video, she's seen calling out to someone. It isn't clear exactly who, but you can hear Nicki saying she's gonna stay right there where she is. Reports also indicate that Cardi was likely in a fight with some other person, but the police were said to have been investigating the matter, even though no charges were pressed on either of them. Cardi sadly left with her clothes torn apart, a lump on her head, and carrying her shoes as she walked barefoot. The fight lasted about 2 minutes. This is probably the only point where the feud got physical, otherwise both parties have mostly denied that there was a beef. In an Instagram post after the event, Cardi spoke directly to the issue, claiming that she never got angry at Nicki's supposed ongoing shade, but Nicki allegedly mentioning her daughter crossed the line and she couldn't sit back and watch that happen. Here is the full text she posted. I've let a lot of ish slide. I let you sneak diss me. I let you lie on me. I let you attempt to stop my bags, F up the way I eat. You've threatened other artists in the industry, told them if they work with me, you'll stop effing with them. I let you talk big ish about me. I addressed you once in person. I addressed you a second time in person, and every time you copped the plea. But when you mention my child, you choose to like comments about me as a mother, make comments about my abilities to take care of my daughter, is when all bets are effing off. I've worked too hard and come too far to let anybody F with my success. Snitches talk all that ish in they raps, but in real life, they pee. This ish really is for entertainment. But the cause of the fight is deeper than that. Before the event, there was a little Instagram issue that left Cardi unhappy about things. Cardi B posted a freestyle on IG on which a user replied calling them dumb lines. It wasn't too long before a screenshot popped up on the internet where Nicki liked this negative comment. On a good note, the year end was quite good for them. In October of 2018, they made up again, agreeing to become friends again and remove themselves from industry drama. Nicki made a tweet on this saying, quote, "Okay, you guys, let's focus on positive things only from here on out," end quote. Cardi also had similar things to say when she wrote, quote, "All right then, let's keep it positive and keep it pushing." Now, Cardi has since been in praise of Nicki, and we haven't seen much social media drama or lyrics with connotations that could create another situation. In 2020, Cardi had an interview with Apple Music where she mentioned Nicki and her role in the industry, and that the industry was basically dying when a certain rapper came to take it over, referring to how Nicki came up and dominated for a long time. She also mentioned that she, as Cardi, once again, has opened up the industry to more women who previously did not get much opportunity or simply got signed to be shelved. The whole beef summed up. Right from the beginning, the two didn't have a private relationship, and most of what happened between them happened in the public. This was the start of the problem, fueled by Cardi's association with Nicki's arch enemy at the time in 2017, along with industry politicking. Even though Cardi did perform at an event that clearly made jabs at Nicki, I don't think that caused Nicki to hate her and start having a grudge against Cardi. Much of the feud was fueled by the media and how the two reacted to the situation. Cardi has always made it clear that if there is an issue, they should sit and talk about it. And there have been instances where they settled their differences. After the Motorsport issue, they had to settle their differences and call it a misunderstanding. That is the spirit that has always dueled between the two. I think the problem all started when Cardi and her fans couldn't cut out their idea of Nicki taking jabs at Cardi. At the time, Nicki had serious beef with Remy Ma, which meant most of her jabs would be directed towards Remy Ma and not Cardi. But increased public opinion and a lot of he said she said, probably behind closed doors, inevitably made it difficult for Cardi B to accept that she wasn't at the receiving end of Nicki's jabs. This may have created some level of resentment that only grew over the years. I mean, both are incredible artists and will forever be remembered for their works and paving the way for the newer generation. But this beef may have prevented them from making the most of their careers. I mean, imagine if they had worked together. Another theory that the public has ran with is that Atlantic Records may have negotiated for Cardi to intentionally carve out a beef with Nicki Minaj. And obviously there's no evidence of that. These are conspiracy theories, and until we actually see the deal, text, or any other receipts, we can't really rely on those theories. Conclusion. Honestly, the tense relationship between the two is really a shame. These are two women dominating in a scene that has always been male dominated. If Nicki and Cardi had a very good and cordial relationship, there's no saying what these two could do or could have done. But with the feud, we have only been able to get one collaboration between them. There were rumors about a collaboration project which made a few waves, but that was clearly nothing more than a rumor. And you see, I don't care who is right or who is wrong here. This beef, it is not the best for them and has largely been fueled by fans and the media playing onto their own interpretation of words and songs and attaching certain characters to lyrics to piece things together. But frankly, any lyric could be about anybody. So I guess that settles the beef. Or maybe not. What do you think? Will peace reign forever? Night section out.